Power to the truth. This is Margo. This is Saturday, April 13th, 2019, 7:09 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. So, we're going to go over some space weather today from spaceweather.com, and then we're going to go over earthquakes. And I've been real busy with working on my website and moving files around and planning and working out bugs and things like that. So we're going to make it a pretty quick show tonight. I know everyone's busy with the weekend too. So we're looking at the sun right now. This is from spaceweather.com, and this is a sunspot. Sunspot 2738. And it's the only sunspot on the sun right now because the sun goes through its solar maximums, solar minimums, and it's in a solar minimum right now, which means it has very few sunspots. When it goes into solar maximum, we have lots of sunspots, which sends out solar flares and lots of geomagnetic disturbance to the earth and things like that. So this is what a sunspot looks like on the sun. It's a big hole in the sun's corona, and it's like fire. It's like fire around the hole, and you can see a little bit of light in there. I'm going to show you something else now. So that was that picture. That was from today. So this is spaceweather.com, and here is the sunspot. It says big sunspot faces Earth this weekend, one of the biggest sunspots since the solar storms of September 2017 is directly facing Earth. AR 2738 has a primary core 3 times wider than our planet, and it is creating a wake of magnetic froth on the sun's surface more than 200,000 kilometers long. So here's the picture. So here's the sunspot, and this is the froth. So it's what they mean by that, I'll show you another picture in a minute, but it's crackling, and it's all this crackling on the surface, and you'll see the energy just crackling and going up. Since it first appeared 1 week ago, the behemoth spot has not produced any very strong solar flares. However, something interesting is happening to AR 2738. It may be splitting apart. The primary core of sunspot AR 2738 is divided by a growing canyon of light, also known as a light bridge, measuring 20,000 kilometers from end to end. And it's this beam of light going all the way across the opening there. Yesterday, amateur astronomer Martin R. Wise photographed the phenomenon from his backyard observatory in Trenton, Florida. Follow the arrow. So this is from Real-Time Image Gallery. I like the colored one better, so we'll go back. That's just amazing to me. Wise's photo is remarkably detailed. The light bridge is only about 800 kilometers wide, less than the width of Texas. His image captures not only that narrow divide, but also hundreds of Texas-sized granules on the sun's boiling surface around the sunspot. That's these dark areas That's what they call granules. The nature of light bridges is not fully understood. They often herald the breakup of a sunspot with jets of plasma shooting up from the chasm. As the sunspot decays, some research suggests that magnetic fields at the base of a light bridge are busy crisscrossing and reconnecting, the same explosive process that sparks solar flares. Does this mean sunspot AR 2738 will explode or quietly fall apart? No one can say. Readers with solar telescopes are encouraged to monitor developments. And they have more pictures from other people who have taken a picture of it. So here is a picture of the sun from today, and here's the sunspot and these magnetic field lines, how they're going around as it's dividing and trying to stabilize. So I just think it's so amazing that we can see this. It's just beautiful. I love looking at this. Also, if you've not explored spaceweather.com, they have a lot of interesting things on here. Here are light pillars, columns of light reflected from ice crystals in the air. Right here. This was taken yesterday in Lisbon, Portugal. Down here they'll show you the sky fireball network, how many fireballs are in the sky, and they're showing 9 right now, and where they're headed and how close they're going to come to us and everything. And then down here, these are near Earth asteroids, or potentially hazardous asteroids, or PHAs, are space rocks larger than approximately 100 meters that can come closer to Earth than 0.05 AU. And AU is lunar distance. That's the distance between no, AU is the distance between Earth and the Sun. Astronomical unit. LD is lunar distance, the distance between the Earth and the Moon. None of the known PHAs is on a collision course with our planet, although astronomers are finding new ones all the time. On April the 14th, their day ahead, there were 1,967 potentially hazardous asteroids. So here they have a whole spreadsheet of recent and upcoming Earth asteroid encounters. They go back to April the 8th here, and here's the name of the asteroid, and it missed the Earth by 3.2 lunar distances. It was traveling at 6.2 kilometers per second, and it was 12 meters in diameter. So here's the date. So here we are. Down here we had 3 coming in. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming in today. And I guess they missed us. I didn't hear of any of them hitting anything. See, and so the closest one was this one, this 2019 GN, that was 1.7 lunar distance, 14 meters in diameter. Now on the 18th, we've got one that's really coming in close. A 2019 GC6 is coming in at 0.6 lunar distance. So it's coming in about halfway between us and the moon. It's traveling at 5.6 kilometers per second, and it's 17 meters in diameter. It's not huge. Now here's a big one, 214 meters in diameter, but it's the closest it's going to come in is 19 lunar distance, so that probably won't do anything. That was on the 19th. So I just think it's interesting to watch all this. And then they have a whole section on cosmic rays. And they've developed a new predictive model of aviation radiation. It's called ERAD, short for Empirical Radiation Model. We're constantly flying radiation sensors on board airplanes over the U.S. and around the world. So far, collecting more than 22,000 GPS-tagged radiation measurements. Using this unique data set, we can predict the dosage on any flight over the USA with an error no worse than 15%. ERAD lets us do something new. Every day we monitor approximately 1,400 flights crisscrossing the 10 busiest routes in the continental USA. Typically, this includes more than 80,000 passengers per day. ERAD calculates the radiation exposure for every single flight. The Hot Flights table is a daily summary of these calculations. It shows the 5 charter flights with the highest dose rates, the 5 commercial flights with the highest dose rates, 5 commercial flights with near average dose rates, and the 5 commercial flights with the lowest dose rates. Passengers typically experience dose rates that are 20 to 70 times higher than natural radiation at sea level. And the higher you go, the more radiation you get too. And the radiation is from all different sources, including the Fukushima radiation that's in the atmosphere, and the solar radiation, and all different places. So here's the top 5 charter flights. Here's the dose rate times sea level. Here's the altitude and the origin. Like here's this one that started from Chicago and it went to Teterboro and it lasted an hour and 27 minutes and 46 seconds. And they traveled at 45,000 feet altitude, and that people on that charter flight got 73.6 rads or dose rates. FlexJet 529, that was the highest. Then when you go to the commercial flight, Southwest Airlines 1701 from Chicago to Newark, that was in the air for an hour and 29 minutes and 54 seconds, they got 60 dose rates. And so on. So, then they go into how to calculate it. To measure radiation on airplanes, we use the same sensors we fly to the stratosphere on board Earth to sky calculus cosmic ray balloons, neutron bubble chambers, and X-ray, gamma ray Geiger tubes sensitive to energies between 10 keV and 20 MeV or MeV. These energies span the range of medical X-ray machines and airport security scanners. And here, they send up space weather balloons to measure radiation as well. And this is how much it's increased. It's increased 18% in the stratosphere since March the 15th till July 2018. So that'll be going up the next time they measure it. So, anyway, the link will be below in my commonly used links, and I just find all that quite fascinating, and we're not alone. So now let's move on to earthquakes. I have USGS pulled up here for all magnitudes for the last 24 hours, and we're showing 238 worldwide. Of those, 48 are 2.5 magnitude and higher. And we can see a lot has been happening. That's a very high number to have over 2.5 magnitude, especially on the weekend. And that's a high number to have on the weekend because the earthquake makers are supposed to be at home. So let's see what's coming off the map first. This 4.2 near Luwuk, Indonesia. This came in at 7:29 last night, 35 kilometers deep. So let's go over to this one in Ecuador. We'll start over here first. Here's one in the middle of Ecuador, this 4.8 near Puyo, Ecuador. This one happened last night at 8:43 p.m., 179 kilometers deep. Now here's Quito, the capital. They have several million people there. But 4.8, that probably didn't do any damage. Next, we have one off the coast of Mexico, a 4.4 near Paradon, Mexico, at 1:08 this morning. Now, let's come on around this ring of fire. Here's a 4.9 near Ohonua, Tonga. It came in at 10:01 this morning. Moving on into Indonesia. Here's a 4.8 near Kokopo, Papua New Guinea at 4:37 this morning on land. Here's one north of Papua New Guinea, a 4.3 near Kimbe at 3:18 this afternoon. Now this was very deep, 555 kilometers deep. Next is this 5.2 near Finschhafen, Papua New Guinea at 1:44 this morning, 38 kilometers deep. And we see the little wave. I haven't even looked at tsunami warnings today. I've been not doing any research. I've been working on my website today. We have this 5.9. What was that one? I don't know what that one was. Okay, 5.9. No tsunami threat from a nearby earthquake. So this happened 111 miles south of Upolu Island at 1:23 this morning, UTC time. or yesterday, Friday, April 12th. Oh, well, these are from yesterday, so no. No tsunami warning. Now moving on around. There's a 5.2 near Madang, Papua New Guinea at 2:50 this morning, 79 kilometers deep. Looks like that was in the ocean. Here's a 4.8 in the Banda Sea near Samlaki, Indonesia at 9:53 this morning, 138 kilometers deep. And now let's look at this group. This is where we saw that 6.8 yesterday. So here's some more in the same area. This 4.2 at 7:29 last night, 4.5 at 9:23 last night, and 4.8 at 10:26 last night. And all of these are Pacific times that I'm telling you because that's my time zone. Coming on around to Sumatra, just off the coast at 4.7 near Bengkulu at 5:04 this morning, 33 kilometers deep. Next, we've got some activity in the Southeast Indian Ocean, in the Andaman Sea. We have 7 here. We had 2 or 3 here last night, so this is continuing. A 5.3 at 9:12 this morning, 4.9 at 9:20 this morning, 4.5 at 10:03 a.m., 4.4 11:22 a.m., 5.0 1:43 a.m., 4.5 that was 1:43 p.m. sorry, 4.5 at 2:46 p.m. and a 4.6 at 6:08 p.m. So that's still active. Then we have one further up, still in the ocean, at 4.5 near Bamboo Flat, India. This is Bamboo Flat, or it's down here. That's the reporting station. Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So 4.5 at 4:02 this afternoon. So that's near that red line. Then coming on up here to China or Tajikistan. That's the reporting station. It's actually in China though. 4.0 near Margo, Tajikistan at 12:08 this afternoon, 110 kilometers deep. Now let's see what's going on over here. We've got a whole bunch of right in the same place, and you can't see them because this bigger dot is covering up the smaller dots. But we've got 7 here near Margo, Japan, all in this cluster, so I'll just call them off. 4.9 at 12:08 this morning, 4.9 12:11 this morning, 4.9 12:14 a.m., 4.6 1:17 a.m., 4.6 1:59 a.m., 5.0 8:07 a.m., and 5.2 just came in at 6:53 p.m. So that's right on that red line. Probably didn't do any damage since it was in the ocean. So we've got this 4.4 near Nikolskoye, Russia at 12:34 this morning. It's part of the Aleutian Islands. While we're up here, let's just continue on around these Aleutian Islands. Here's a 3.4 near Amatignak Island, Alaska. And now let's look at Alaska. So including that one, we have 84 here today, so that's a higher number than we've been seeing in the last few days. So of those, we only have 5 that are 2.5 magnitude and higher. So we saw this 3.4 over here. Here's a 2.7 Kodiak. Here's another ice quake, a 2.5 magnitude ice quake near Haines. And 3.2 Big Lake and 2.6 Anchorage. So both of those are in the Anchorage area. So let's take a peek at the lower magnitude ones here. Let's start up here at the north end. We've got 1.7 and 2.3 near Koktovik, 1.8 Arctic Village, here we have 19 at Kobuk today, so that's a higher number. So that has not stopped moving, and again, a lot of them are at surface level where it says 0 kilometers. That means it's at surface level. This one just came in, a 2.4 at 7:10 tonight at 0 depth. They're mainly under 2s, high 1s to mid 1s. And this 1.9 came in last night at 7:59 p.m. 0 depth. So 19, that's still shaking up there. Now let's come on down. We're seeing this spreading out. The clusters are spreading out, and I'm seeing a cluster here in this Alaska mountain range. Kind of spread is. They're not super close together, but it is definitely showing movement and clustering. As you can see, there's a lot more here than we normally see. Here's the Anchorage area, so we're getting an uptick in number of earthquakes in Anchorage and in this Cook Inlet. So it's picking up. The movement is picking up as we're seeing. We're just seeing more as we come on around. So now let's go down to Hawaii. We only have one here today, a 1.9 near Volcano, Hawaii at 1:50 this afternoon. Now let's look at Dominican Republic. We've got 12 here today. The largest one is this 3.1. It says 3.2 down here, 3.1 up here. Here's a 3.0. Then most of the rest of them are 2s range. So not big enough to cause damage, but showing movement. Now coming down into the lower 48, we have another one near Flomaton, Alabama, a 1.8 that came in last night at 8:48 p.m. Then here's another one in the New Madrid hazard zone, a 1.99 kilometers south-southwest of New Madrid, Missouri. This one happened at 2:28 this morning. Then coming on over, here's a 2.5 near Minco, Oklahoma, today at 12:53 this afternoon, and a 2.7 near Caldwell, Kansas, at 11:55 this morning. Coming on across, in Utah we see one, a 1.3 near Enterprise. And now coming on up into the Yellowstone region, we're seeing two here today, a 0.8 near Moose Wilson Road, Wyoming, at 5:46 this morning. And then, yeah, that was a 0.8, and then a 2.8 near Lima, Montana, where we were seeing it was clustering here for the last couple of days, and we had some large ones here. This one came in at 1:50 this afternoon. Now coming on up into the Pacific Northwest, we're seeing one here near Carson, Washington, a 0.6 that happened at 4:36 this morning. I thought I saw something off the coast. No, it's down there. That was yesterday. Okay. So let's look at the real-time tremor map, since we're not seeing any earthquakes. Really, we're seeing in the last 3 hours we've got 4 tremors up here to the southwest of that Mount St. Helens region. In the last 24 hours we've got a huge number. Look at that. Huge number. Mount St. Helens is right over here, so it's just to the west and southwest, and it's showing 5.5 hours of tremors in the last 24 hours, including a few tremors up here by Olympia, and then a couple in the ocean, and that's it. No more tremors being reported, not even down through California. So they're kind of centering up here then. So right along, let's see, there's Mount St. Helens. So we see it. These are right to the southeast of this little water inlet there, which is right in here. This whole area. Now let's come on down. Let's check out Nevada next. We've got one north of Pyramid Lake, 1.1 near Gerlach Empire at 2:48 this morning at the surface at 0 kilometers depth. Here's one at Cold Springs, a 0.9 just north of Reno. While we're over here, here's a 0.7 near Portola, California Then Hawthorne has a couple of small ones, four small ones in the under ones. Then at Warm Springs we've got a 1.6 and a 1.8 and 1.8. Then it looks like this is at Goldfield. There are two small ones at Goldfield. And then here's one in southern Nevada, 1.0 near Alamo. So you can definitely see the difference in the number of earthquakes when it's a weekend rather than a weekday. Okay, now let's check out Northern California. We're going to start over here near Petrolia, 2.7. It's on land. This came in at 2:37 this afternoon, and it's right beside this red line, which is the San Andreas Fault line. Next, southeast of Redding, we have a 2.7 near Shingletown at 6:56 this morning. Next is a 0.6 near Greenville, California at 11:34 last night. Next, let's check out the geysers. We're seeing 45 here today, so that's a very large number again. Even for a weekend, it's a large number. Most of these are ones and under. Let's see if any of these are 2.5 magnitude and higher. No, not at the geysers. Now let's come on down this east side. Nothing at Mono Lake. Where's Mammoth? Nothing at Mammoth Lake. This is Coso Junction with 7 here today. Here's a 2.6. That looks like it's the highest one. The rest are in the ones range and under. This one, 0.8, was at a minus 0.3 kilometer depth. So it was, the epicenter was up in the chamber of the mountain. Here's a 1.4 Tehachapi. Now let's come back up and come down this west side in the San Francisco area. There's your 2.9 near Berkeley. This one happened at 8:44 this morning. 2.7 near Oakland. This one happened at 12:35 this afternoon. Now we're going to follow this red line. This is the San Andreas Fault line. 2.9 Corralitos at 11:59 this morning. So we're seeing some larger magnitudes here. Here's 1.9 Pinnacles and 1.5 Pinnacles. Then we've got 3 here, a 2.0, 2.4, and 1.6, all of these at New Idria. Moving on down, we've got a couple in the ocean. 2.2 near Santa Cruz Island East End at 6:02 tonight. 1.7 near Port Hueneme at 5:42 this afternoon. Here's one in Los Angeles at 2.1, Century City. Here's one just across the border in Baja, 1.6, near Progreso. Okay, for Southern California, including that one in Baja, we're seeing 26 on the map here today. So not a huge number. Let's see if any of these are 2.5 or higher. Nope, they're small. But we're seeing this cluster come back at Kauai. That's coming back. There's 10 in the map here today at Kauai. They're small, but it's still showing movement. And most of these are 1s and under, it looks like. So, lots of movement. For a weekend, it's a lot of movement. And it looks like we just had another one come in Indonesia on land. 4.2 near Nipongi, Indonesia at 7:18 p.m. 129 kilometers deep. Now this is Lombok. Remember, Lombok has the volcanoes there. Here's Bali. All of these little islands are volcanic and have a lot of earthquake activity going on too. So that's just another one to add to the mix there. So let's look at 2.5 magnitude and higher. Got that. We got Nago, Japan. We got Mohi in India. I think we got all of those. So I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. I'd like to thank you for joining me. I'd like to thank my YouTube subscribers. And I'd also like to thank my subscribers over on Subscribestar, my new platform. We're working out the bugs. It's a new system, and you know, there's bugs anytime you got a new platform that you're learning and different things. But I like the platform, and I think it's shaping up real nice. So, and if people have not seen Nostradamus's first phone age report, news for the phone age, it is so cute. It is so cute. He put it up last night and it was so cute. I just love it. So congratulations, Nostradamus, aka Dave from the UK. It was a winner. So keep it up. We look forward to seeing more reports from you. And we look forward to seeing your methane report tomorrow. So I'm going to end with a psalm from the Bible. I think we need some spiritual inspiration as we're heading into very dark times. And just not knowing how to deal with things. And I get my strength from going within and from communing with God and Jesus and the angels. And also by reading Psalms and Proverbs and different things from the Bible and other holy texts. So I'd like to share the 23rd Psalm. I know everybody's heard it, but it's a good one to hear again. A Psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. I think that kind of speaks for itself. So, until next time, God bless. Take care. Go in peace. Good night.